Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. A multi-layered security plan has been deployed as Pakistan prepares to host Iran-US peace talks in Islamabad. Authorities say thousands of personnel are in place, with parts of the capital under lockdown and a strict security perimeter around the venue. According to sources, advance teams from both countries have already arrived at the Islamabad hotel, where the delegations will be based. Iranian delegation, led by Parliament Speaker Baqir Qalibaf, is expected to arrive soon, while the US delegation, headed by Vice President JD Vance, will arrive in time for the Saturday discussions. The talks are expected to focus on extending the ceasefire and easing tensions, as both sides arrive with key demands ahead of negotiations. Just before leaving for Pakistan, US Vice President JD Vance said he expects positive negotiations with Iran, but also warned that any attempt to play the United States would be met with a firm response. Speaking to reporters, he said, "Washington is open to engagement if Tehran negotiates in good faith, as diplomatic efforts continue under a fragile ceasefire."
Trump has said that a peace deal with Iran may be within reach, even as tensions simmer on the ground. He said he is very optimistic that a deal with Iran could soon be achieved, speaking in a phone interview with NBC News. He claimed Iranian leaders adopt a more flexible tone in private discussions compared to their public statements. Also, during a phone call, Trump urged Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to scale back military operations in Lebanon to support peace efforts. He later confirms the conversation, saying he spoke to Netanyahu and he's going to low-key it.
However, President Trump said Iran lacks leverage in negotiations, accusing Tehran of relying on control of the Strait of Hormuz. His remarks come as uncertainty clouds planned talks in Pakistan, with Iran demanding sanctions relief and a ceasefire in Lebanon before negotiations proceed. Washington has warned it is ready to resume military action if talks fail. Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Majid Ravanchi says a consensus has been reached to use Tehran's 10-point plan as the basis for negotiations with the United States. He said that Iran supports diplomacy but will not accept talks built on false premises or aimed at enabling further military action. The plan includes maintaining control of the Strait of Hormuz, lifting sanctions, and a US military withdrawal as both sides prepare for talks in Islamabad. Meanwhile, Iran's Parliament Speaker Baqir Qalibaf says key conditions must be met before negotiations can begin. In a post on social media, he called for a ceasefire in Lebanon and the release of Iran's blocked assets as prior commitments. Qalibaf warned that talks should not proceed until these steps are implemented, as disputes continue over ceasefire terms and ongoing hostilities.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has said that he discussed military capabilities and the logistics of moving vessels through the Strait of Hormuz when he spoke to US President Donald Trump a day earlier. He said during his visit to the Gulf that they'd been pulling together a coalition of countries working on a political, diplomatic plan. Asked if he raised US threats of withdrawing from NATO with Trump, Starmer did not answer directly, but said the alliance was in both the US and Europe's interests. Has announced a 32-hour ceasefire over a 2-day period for Orthodox Easter, and his Ukrainian counterpart, Volodymyr Zelensky, said Kiev would abide by the measure. The ceasefire for Orthodox Easter celebrations on Sunday coincides with a pause in US-led efforts to clinch a settlement to the 4-year-old conflict amid hostilities in Iran and the broader Middle East. The Kremlin said the Easter ceasefire would be in effect from Saturday at 4 p.m. to midnight on Sunday evening. The Kremlin announcement said it proceeded on the basis that the Ukrainian side will follow the example of the Russian Federation. Attacks on Saudi energy facilities have cut the kingdom's oil production capacity by around 600,000 barrels per day and throughput on its east-west pipeline by about 700,000 barrels per day. Saudi state news agency SPA reported, citing an official source at the Ministry of Energy, that the latest attacks also disrupted operations at key oil, gas, refining, petrochemical, and electricity sites in Riyadh, the Eastern Province, and Yanbu Industrial City. One pumping station on the east-west pipeline was hit, reducing throughput by about 700,000 barrels per day. The Manifa oil field and Kurais facility were also hit, reducing production capacity by a total of 600,000 barrels per day. And US First Lady Melania Trump has denied that she had any relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and said she was not one of his victims, thrusting the Epstein matter back into the spotlight after her husband had sought to put it behind him. She denied online speculation that the disgraced financier and sex offender had introduced her to Donald Trump, saying she had met her husband at a New York City party in 1998, 2 years before crossing paths with Epstein at another event she attended with Trump. She also urged Congress to hold public hearings for Epstein victims to tell their stories under oath. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.